Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. For supportive oracle cards, the Akashic Tarot by Sharon Ann Klingler and Sandra Ann Taylor. The reason I'm using this as the oracle deck is because even though it's listed as a tarot, it has noticeable differences. Like there's no pages, there's no knights, there's less cards in the whole deck total, and even the major arcana has some noticeable differences. It's a great deck. I like it. But I feel like it's more tarot inspired than an actual tarot deck, just the way I personally connect to it. So that's why I'm using it that way. Just in case you're looking at that like it says it's a tarot deck, why are you using it as an oracle deck? That's why. All right. What do we have here? I don't know, these seem to want to all stay together or just two of them? I can put two. Okay. This is Aquarius. Okay. Seems like we're talking about an event here. Are you leaving a situation or are you starting to leave a situation? You got the Akashic Library starting things off. And one of the things about the library, and just to be fair, I'm an intuitive reader, so I go with what I'm feeling from it. I'm getting like you've done a lot of thinking, a lot of work, and you're kind of like, you know what? I've been looking at a lot of information, I've been gathering a lot of information and putting in a lot of work. I almost feel like for a lot of you, it's almost like you've been at a certain job for a long time, and it doesn't have to be a job-related thing for everybody, but it's almost like you've been at a job for a long time. You've learned a lot of things, and something you know now, like you know a lot more now than when you started, and you're like, I don't think I'm getting treated as well, or I'm not getting paid as well as I deserve to be. I've put in a lot of effort, I've put in a lot of knowledge, I do everything I can do, and I push things forward, and I just don't think I'm being valued the way I should be. So maybe it's time to go somewhere else. Maybe it's time to take all I know, all my knowledge, and take it somewhere where it's going to be honored the way I feel like it should be honored. Now, I know this isn't going to be work for everybody, but that's the basic energy. You have a lot, you contribute, you've learned a lot along the way, and you're just kind of like, I don't think it's being honored like it should be. I'm a very strong value here, and I don't think I'm being seen properly. So I think I'm going to take myself somewhere else where I feel like I'm honored the way I should be. Okay, you got the King of Cups here next for you. You're very happy about this. It's like once you personally make this decision, it's like a moment of euphoria. Kind of like, you know what? Life's going to be good. Life doesn't feel bad at this point, but you're like, life's going to be better. I think if I want life to get better, I'm the one who has to make that choice, and I'm making that choice. All right, this is another way I feel this information could be going, because I'm picking up on it at this point. You might be in a relationship, and it could be that type of thing where, you know what, when I started this relationship, I thought one thing. I've learned a lot along the way. I've improved a lot along the way. I don't feel like this relationship suits me anymore. For whatever reason, you just don't think it's there anymore. And you're starting to make that decision like, I'm going to get out of this. You know if that hits or not. For those of you watching this, that either hits or it flat out doesn't. It's either yes or no. So I get a little anxiety with that. Kind of like making that decision and admitting that to yourself takes a lot. Because it's kind of like, I feel like whoever that's really hitting for, it's not just like, oh, I'm just going to go, I'm done. It's not like that. It's kind of like we've got a lot tied up together. There's going to be a lot I have to untie from this person if I'm going to do this. But you've already seen, if you get here, you're like, you've made that decision, you are going to do it. You're now just kind of like, what do I need to do to untie myself from them? Now, how is this happening? You're setting out to make these changes. Okay, I feel like this is smart. Aquarius is known for being smart, the way I think of them anyway. They're the leader air sign. So I typically think of Aquarians as smart. You're starting the process on your side it may be just the research to start off with. You're almost like you're making a list. What are all the things I have to do to untie myself from this situation, be it person or business, whatever it is. You're making a list of everything that needs to be done, everything you need to do to get ready, everything you need to prepare, so that way when you're ready to step forward, you know what has to get done, you know what you have to do. If it's untying yourself from a person and you have to get rid of some land or whatever you have to do, and you have to do this and you have to do that, you're getting all your ducks in a row. Like, oh, these are all the things that have to be done. This is what I'm going to have to do to make them happen. This is when I'm going to have to let this person know that I'm doing this. Obviously, they're going to need to know. If it's business, it's also the same thing. Like, I have to tie up my responsibilities. I'm not going to leave anything. I'm not going to leave a bad situation. I'm not going to leave this and make it look bad. I don't want to leave a situation in ruins. Not really, even though there's an interesting card coming up now that I said that. So you're setting things up, and you're actually starting the journey forward, but you're preparing things to make it, so you know what to do, you know what you got to handle, you know what you need to do to make this succeed. So you're getting you're getting all your ducks in a row, and then you're getting ready to head out the door. When this comes in with the environment, I find this very peculiar. But let's see where it goes. Community with, it's community. It is community. Community with the light of the world. I feel like the people who truly back you, and this could be friends, it could be family, whatever you're deciding, whether it be business, personal, whatever you're walking away from and you're going into something, you're like, I'm choosing something better, I'm going out there to find something better. Whatever you're choosing, the people who truly stand by you are backing you on this. I feel like some people may even be saying, yeah, it's about time, you need to make that change. So you're getting the support in that sense, but it's like the people who truly care about you. Could be friends, could be family, depends what's going on. Could be coworkers, even if it's a business situation. They might be like, yeah, I think you're right. I think there's some other people are like, they're following your lead. You're like, yeah, I need to do that. There's support in that sense. I feel weird saying it because there's definitely going to be some apprehension, or there's going to be some type of, somebody's not going to be happy that you're leaving. Somebody's definitely not going to be happy, but I'm getting there's enough support here where you have the support behind you for what you're doing that you don't feel like you're out there on your own. Do you know what I mean? There's some type of social support there. So this is when you leave. You decide, business, personal, whatever's going on, you decide to leave. That's this next part. So it's a weird energy. This is the base energy. The base energy is like it's done. It says caught in the ruins. In the sense of like once you make it public what you're doing, you've told whoever, business, personal, I'm going. I'm done going. Made up my mind. Thank you. Bye-bye. Caught in the ruins is telling me it's pretty much a done deal at this point. And things they're going to happen. The Fool going forward, the Fool and the Temperance are right on the top. You're going forward in a very positive motion. It's going to take some time for everything to come into alignment the way you want it to, but it does seem to be happening. You also seem to be, whatever you're leaving, business or personal, I know I keep saying that, you're causing a great change. You're a great change. Now, I'm saying great change. I feel like it's good. Whatever you're leaving behind, the person or people that are left behind realize, they had a chance to make this go a different way, but once that time passed, and that time has passed, you made your own decision. They're looking back and they're realizing they could have done things differently. It didn't have to end like this. If they handled it better, it wouldn't be where it is right now. So this is a good thing for whoever you're walking away from, whatever, people, one person, people, whatever it is. It's kind of like, all right, yeah, I see why. It's almost kind of like it's hard to say they don't understand. They may say they don't understand, but in truth, it makes perfect sense why you're making your decision, is what I'm getting. But it's done. The world is saying, once it's done, it's done. That's the world and the ruins. But I also feel like whatever's being left behind has a chance to also improve their own life, be it a group of people or one person. There's the potential for them to make this a good thing too. Kind of like, looking back, like, oh, that didn't go right, that could have gone better, these choices could have gone differently, maybe I need to make better choices in this stage or that stage. So everybody has a chance to kind of make off in the sense of like when this is finally done, everything, the dust is settled, you will definitely be in a better place, but they have a chance too as well, whoever they are. All right, so when that's done, that's done. I don't see, like, when that's done is done. I feel like when you're done, this is talking about your new situation you're going forward with. You get the death card coming forward, kind of like you're starting a whole new situation. You're letting, even though you wanted to leave that last situation, you still got to process it being gone. There's things that you used to do that you're not going to do anymore. There's connections that you don't seem to have that you used to have. You got to get used to the change. I'm getting the death card kind of like you're going to kind of go through the grieving. You're going to go through the grieving of it. There's certain things about it that you did like that are that went with it. And it's kind of like you're letting that go. You're getting over that, letting that, even though you chose it and you wanted it, there's certain things they have to process through. It seems like it's a slow motion going into this next phase. If you're going into being a single person, if you're going into a new job or new situation or maybe your own business, whatever it is, it's a slow going build. It's going to take you a while to literally get used to it. It's one of those things where you expect it to go really well and you're really excited to do it. You're not expecting it to go perfect right off the bat, but I feel like you're expecting to like it more than you actually are when it starts off. When you first get into this phase, it doesn't feel as good as you thought it was going to feel. It's not bad though. It's just going to take some time to ramp up there to get up to the speed you want it to be. But at first, it's just kind of like, oh, this doesn't feel as good as I thought it was going to. It will. You just got to hold on and let it build. You are going to have some doubts, is what I'm getting. The environment, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going towards next, is not as kind to you as you thought it was going to be. I'm getting that too. It's not that bad, but it's just not as good as you expected. The next situation you're going into is not as good as you expected. I just feel like it needs time to form. It's kind of like planting a tree. It's going to take some time to really get to the level you want it to be. You can't plant a sapling and expect it to be, big enough to hang a swing from for like a few years. You can't hang a swing from it for like a few years. So it's kind of like that feeling. Like it's going to get there. You're going to end up in a much happier place. It's going to take more time than I feel like you realized to really get we're stuttering now. Why are we doing that? To really get to a place where you envisioned it being. I feel like you're also doing the extra work here, kind of like, all right, what do I need to do to make this go a little faster? How do I make this grow a little quicker? Do I need Miracle Grow? Do I need more sunlight here? Do I need to cut out some of the shrubbery around it so it gets more sunlight? What do I need to do? You got the King of Forces here. I feel like you're putting in extra effort here to try to make the situation achieve the level that you're envisioning, right? The reason you left is because you want things to be a lot better. And you want it to get there. And you're kind of like, all right, this isn't going as fast as I thought. I thought this would be a little better. I thought I would enjoy this a little more at this point, and I'm not. So you're like, what do I need to do to move it up a notch? What do I need to do to make this improve quicker? What I'm getting with this is kind of like, this is the time you want to do your prep work. You want to, like, for example, if you're going into a new job, and you're noted, like, this is the point where you're like, you want to evaluate what's going forward, what's coming towards you down the road. You want to, like, do this to make this go better and to, like, fit in better and to enjoy this more when it finally hits the speed you want it to. Look at what you're going to need down the line. Are you going to need more financial knowledge? Do you know a lot about it? But there's like, oh wait, there's a couple things about mortgages I don't quite understand. Maybe I should research that and figure that out a little more. Same thing as if it's a personal thing where you left a relationship and you're kind of like, I thought I was going to enjoy being on my own a lot more. It's just not as enjoyable as I thought it was going to be. This is the time where you want to, like, do the things you haven't had time to do. I don't know how this sounds. Like, if you want to learn a language, get yourself a Rosetta Stone, pick your language, pick the language, start learning it. If you want to learn how to do a certain vocation, if you want to learn this or that, this is your time to take that and do something that entertains you that you can use later. I remember one person got into home improvement. I remember that. That was interesting. They didn't really know anything about it, but they wanted to be able to do it. So they took a couple. I guess they are classes, but they were at like the local college. Like they were like community college things where you just take a course to know how to do something. That's where they started, and they just found they found the niche that worked for them, and I don't know, it worked out good. But this is the time to do those type of things, to like entertain yourself and improve your knowledge. Even if it's like you're single and you're like, I just thought I'd enjoy being single more. Go towards things that you want to learn. Take this time to learn things you want to learn that you think will make your life better. Maybe this is the time to get into a hobby that maybe you couldn't get into that hobby before, because for whatever reason, and now maybe you can take up snowboarding or something. I don't know. They're saying make this time the best of it. You know, if it's a business thing, add in more knowledge during this time. If it's a personal thing, put in more things that are fun to you that you couldn't or you wouldn't allow yourself to do before. Don't give up though, because I feel like you're going to have this moment, and they're just acknowledging it. You're going to have this moment where you're kind of like, maybe this was a mistake moment. It's not, but you're going to feel like it for a moment, like maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. The way this ends, they're saying hold on. Your life is going to get better. It's going to get a lot better, but you're hitting this moment where you're kind of like, it feels a little rough, and you got to hold on and hold it together. You're not thinking this is really working out. You're kind of looking back like, I didn't realize it was going to have this moment. This isn't, like, I didn't leave it. Like, the reason I left it was not to hit this moment. I thought it was going to be better. And it will be. They're just saying you're hitting this, like, this dry period. It's almost like this desert period, where it's just going to take some time to sort out things and bring it forward. There are good things coming forward for you. You're going to look back on this and understand that that was a good thing. That's the thing with the Six of Cups. It is a history card, but I read it my own way, just to be fair, depending on what's around it. And in this situation, I feel like when you finally get down the road a couple years, it might be a few years down the road, you're going to look back and be like, you know what, that period of time, that did suck. I didn't like it, but it was very necessary to get me into something better. If you're going to do it like a test grade, it's kind of like you were living, your life was kind of like a 65-70. It was just passing for all those years. When this moment happened, you felt like you were doing 50s, 40s. Like, oh, I went from 65-70, now I'm doing 50s and 40s. Like, these are not passing grades. These are not passing grades. I don't like this. If I had known it was going to be like this, I would have stayed back in the 65-70 range. But after a couple years pass, you're like hitting 90s and 100s. And you're having an extra achieve, like you're hitting the bonus question. You're getting 105 on the test. Sometimes it's 80s, 90s, 80s, 90s, 100, 80s, 90s, 100. And then every now and then it's like 105, 110, 115. You're like extra credit, or I'm getting the bonus questions even. I'm doing that well. I'm acing the whole thing. And I'm getting the bonus questions. So it's just going to take some time to get there, but a couple years down the road, it will be worth it. Cool? Cool. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.